welcome.
What's that?
The conditions you welcome. I'll say a couple more fast right
Okay, sounds good. I think I'm okay without masks
Yeah.
unless you
Yeah,
guys
no,
go there?
that's fine, yeah.
Okay. Vic, you gonna say a few words of welcome?
Yep, sir.
Hey, Dustin.
Yep. Somebody said I look well with my mask and 52 without it. So.
Seriously, that's the model?
That's the model. Helping us train our mask. First day of our statewide retreat.
It's really impressive.
Incredible
Sheriff, I
message.
get a chance to say official hello. You good? Okay, that's a deal.
Good morning.
Good morning.
After having such an impressive virtual and training, I wanted to say hello, welcome to Camden. I'm Mayor Vic Starfin, and welcome to our great city, and welcome to the Camden County Police Administration Building. As Camden's newest mayor, I am happy to be here to discuss public safety and the use of vital public safety tool, our body-worn cameras. I can assure you public safety is a top priority for everyone here today, a priority for our Camden residents, and a priority for everyone living in New Jersey. I would like to begin by welcoming our distinguished guests, Congressman Donald Norcross, our great Mayor Phil Murphy, Lieutenant Governor Sheila Oliver, Lieutenant, our great governor. Hey,
I got promoted.
Governor, our New Jersey Attorney General Gruwal, our 5th District Senator Nilsa Cruz Perez, Assemblyman Bill Moen, Assemblyman Bill Spearmint, New Jersey State Police Colonel Patrick Callahan, our CCPD Chief Gabriel Rodriguez, our great Sheriff Whit Wilson, and the CCPD command staff and CCPD officers who are all here to service Camden every day. Also want to make mention to our clergymen here, Pastor Mack, Stephen Mack, Pastor Parker of Antioch Church, Pastor Watson of Nazarene Baptist Church, and Minister Wasim Muhammad. Camden has made great strides over the years as it relates to crime and public safety efforts. As a resident and parent, I can assure you our community is safer, our youth can play freely in the parks and playgrounds, and our residents can enjoy the new development, unprecedented revitalizations, and improved quality of life that is taking root throughout our neighborhoods. Our city has realized a significant drop in violent crime. Approximately, that's 44% drop. And our neighborhoods are now the safest they have been in decades. This has been achieved through a multi-pronged approach, ranging from extensive training of our CCPD officers, de-escalation techniques, and an innovative use of technology, progressive policing policies, and a partnership forged between officers and residents. A community policing model which is now regarded as a national model of policing. I commend Governor Phil Murphy, Lieutenant Governor Sheila Oliver, New Jersey State Police Colonel Patrick Callahan, our Attorney General Gruwal, and others for coming to Camden to mark this historical day for the state of New Jersey. The Camden County Police Department has been at the forefront as the largest agency in South Jersey to implement body-worn cameras. This technology has not only proven to be an effective public safety tool, but has helped to protect and hold accountable our police officers and our community. Thank you. I now want to introduce our CCPD Chief, Camden's own, Gabriel Rodriguez.
Good morning, and thank you all for being here. Just want to let you know how important body-worn cameras are. They're the key to transparency and trust in our communities, not just for use of force, but for accountability. ensuring that our officers serve our communities with respect and dignity. I applaud Governor Murphy and Attorney General Graywall for leading the nation in police reform. Others are following New Jersey's lead. Thank you.
Thank you, Gabe. Is that me? Yes, sir. Thanks, man. Thank you, Gabe. What a treat to be here in Camden in this Memorial Day week. Thank you, Chief Gabe Rodriguez, for your gracious words and introduction and for hosting us today. To Mayor Vic Kostarfin, thank you, Vic, for your warm welcome to this historic and re-energizing city of Camden. And Vic, I think it's fair to say you got a battlefield promotion in the middle of a pandemic, and you continue to do an exceptional job. So it's an honor to be with you all. As they say, Sheila, I learned this phrase from your protocol having been established, so I don't have to go through the entire list of folks who have been acknowledged. I'm not sure any of the commissioners are here, but I do want to give the Camden County commissioners a shout out. And Vic got most everybody, but there are two guys over here I want to say something about. Where right now, we have a location second to none of any American state. We are the densest state in the nation, and investment in infrastructure, Donald and I were just talking about it, is not optional for New Jersey. It's essential. And we're a disproportionate winner when we invest in our transportation and infrastructure. So he's off that beat, but I do want to give Chris Calori a shout out because Chris was an extraordinary leader in that respect and is now at Cooper's Ferry as its CEO. And I will say from a healthcare standpoint, I don't know where we would be today without Kevin O'Dowd's leadership, not just of Cooper, but as our regional overseer for the entire south of Jersey throughout this entire pandemic. And he continues to hold that position. So, Kevin, thank you for everything you've done. So together, we just had the opportunity to take a tour of the police training facility here and to get a firsthand look at the body camera technology, which today, June 1st, 2021, by the way, Charlie Murphy's 20th birthday, keep him in your prayers. As of today, it must be employed in every police department across our state. And Gabe, your colleagues, the captain, sergeant, and officer were outstanding. The Camden County Police, as Gabe mentioned, has been at the forefront in deploying this technology department-wide, and it's made a huge impact here. And that goes all the way back to 2016 as it relates to Camden. All of us are united in one vision, and that is in ensuring that not just the city of Camden, but this county, but our entire state continues to be a safe place for families to call home. And so much of that vision rests on ensuring strong bonds of trust between law enforcement and the people they serve. Through the tremendous efforts of Attorney General Graywall and Colonel Callahan, I'm honored to be with them today. I know Sheila Oliver joins me in that. Working alongside community leaders in our houses of worship, thank you to our faith leaders, especially across our state, including in Camden. Those connections are being made, and they are being deepened. They're being made through constant dialogue, but more importantly through the knowledge that actions do speak louder than words. But even so, we must always look for more ways to restore these critical community bonds. And this is what makes today such a good day for our state. Today, our state law requiring the deployment of body cameras across every police department takes effect. And through the grants that the Attorney General is dispersing to 487 law enforcement agencies statewide to help alleviate the costs, we are redoubling our commitment to transparency and accountability in policing. Body cameras are a wise all-around investment in both public safety and in justice. When used properly, they ensure that there is an impartial record of the facts that can be used when necessary in investigations and in courts. But they also ensure that our police are equipped with tools that they need to receive the best possible training, as we saw firsthand, and help them carry out their sworn duties. Moreover, the law that takes effect today will also ensure that all departments across the state are adhering to uniform rules and requirements for body camera use. This is just as critical for this technology to be successful as is its broad deployment. Importantly, and this is based on the statute and the law that I signed, these rules will ensure the sanctity of places like our schools, our hospitals, and our houses of worship, unless there is an actual investigation that requires cameras to be on in these locations. These are locations where New Jerseyans must feel the safest, and especially with regard to our schools, they are places where our work in strengthening the bonds of trust actually begins. Today is an opportunity for us to further cement New Jersey's role as a national leader in smart police reforms that seek to bridge divides and not exacerbate them, and instill greater community trust in law enforcement so residents and officers can work together to keep our neighborhoods and streets safe. And even though we now have a strong new law in effect, we know our work is not done. Body cameras alone cannot make a community safer. You know that great phrase, they are necessary but not sufficient. And I think that's the way we should think about this. We will continue our work to bring community leaders and law enforcement together for the vital and long overdue reforms that will bring about a new culture of policing in our state. Today is just another step down what we know is a long road to full understanding and lasting trust. Again, I thank everyone here for their great work and partnership, and it is always a good day to be in Camden. It is now my pleasure. I mentioned this inside. No matter how good a job we do within the four walls of New Jersey, we need fighters, bulldogs fighting for every penny and for our just monies and representation in Washington, and there's no one better. Please help me welcome, representing the 1st Congressional District, Congressman Donald Norcross.
Thank you, Governor. It's good to see the full face. It's an incredible time, but Sheila, great to have you here, and certainly an Attorney General who is progressive in his views and are able to implement. Great to have you here. To my chief, our homegrown chief. We've been blessed by a number of chiefs who do great work. Certainly, Chief Thompson had the vision to bring about many of the substantive changes we've seen. Chief Wysocki, after the killing of George Floyd, marched with the community. And that's indicative of what we have here in Camden City. It's not the warrior against the community, it's the guardian working together. And I can't tell you how important that mind change has been. But yesterday, as we came off Memorial Day, for those who gave all for our country, I see one of the officers wearing his black stripe, reminding us of the dangers. We lost that officer some years after he was shot. This is a dangerous job, and only the community together can fix that. It's been a year since we entered into the pandemic, and it's been a year since George Floyd's murder. We passed the House the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act that talks about making across the board, this great country, those standards that they're talking about today. Camden City is that shining star on how you've seen how it's done. And repeating that behavior is what they call insanity, and how the change has taken place. I can't tell you how many calls I got, including the BBC, wanting to know how Camden City did it. Well, they did it together, and that common goal. Back in 2014, myself and Paul Moriarty were the authors of the dash cam, something that unfortunately was overruled. But it showed how important it was to have those cameras. Now it took this governor, our administration, to put the body cams on. Cameras are the truth tellers. They don't lie. It gives you a true assessment of what happens, and that's why it's so important. You heard that this is the largest agency in South Jersey that have installed them. But installing them and watching them only in cases of disruption doesn't go far enough. What we saw and what they described is that game day afterwards, where you reviewed what happened. How did it work well? What can we do better? And that's what we're seeing here in Camden City with this police department. Constant improvement, not just taking the old playbook and putting it back out there again, but actually assessing it and progressively looking at it and saying, what can we do? Well, what we can do is work together. This great country and this great city I call home understands that only together will this get better. The transparency that the governor talked about, I can't say thank you enough for what they're doing statewide, but in particular for my hometown of Camden. God bless you, and please be safe.
Thank you, Donald. Thank you, Congressman, for everything. Next up, please help me welcome my partner in government, the one, the only, Lieutenant Governor Sheila Oliver. Bless you.
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure for me to be here in Camden City this morning. I have always been a frequent visitor to Camden. And I have to tell you, since becoming Lieutenant Governor, I come here even more. And I just want to congratulate and commend all of the stakeholders in Camden, because every time I get off that turnpike and that Route 30 and come into Camden City, I see something new. So I want to just congratulate all of you for the progress that has been made here in Camden. You are not just through policy, but you are physically transforming the aesthetics in the city of Camden, and I think that needs to be acknowledged. I also want to thank the governor for his unrelenting dedication to making New Jersey a national leader in informed and effective policing practices and criminal justice reform. We must really say and repeatedly publicly disclose, policing is not easy. Working in law enforcement is not easy. And I know that this past year has been a tough year for those in law enforcement. Body cameras, as the governor addressed, is not only a good tool to do what we're saying, building trust between communities and law enforcement. Body cams are good for law enforcement officers as well. We know that there are good actors. We also know that we acknowledge that there are bad actors. And I think body cams is a protection for not just those that have interactions with police, but they are also a good piece of insurance to protect officers in documenting that they have followed the appropriate procedures and the appropriate practices, and that they have not violated the constitutional rights of any person that they come in contact with. They're not a punitive measure. And I know from my times in the legislature when we began to talk about body cams, initially many law enforcement officers felt that it was a punishment to them. And I know that Congressman Norcross and Senator Nilsa Ruiz and Sheriff Whip Wilson remember those kinds of discussions that we had. But I'm glad that it has been the Murphy administration under the informed information that he has been able to work with our Attorney General to bring us to this day. They've proven to be useful for officer training. And yes, we just had a demonstration of VirTra. And it is a tool that when we look at this footage, the training officers and the police academies can now in real time treat the new recruits, train the new recruits in how they can do effective interventions without excessive use of force. And we just saw a wonderful demonstration of that. I was glad that the Attorney General and the Governor have announced that there is going to be grant funding available to departments. I think this represents a new day in policing for our state and for our country as well. We like being a trendsetter, New Jersey. And I think today also harkens us once again stepping up as a trendsetter, and that other states will follow suit. And then I too want to thank Congressman Norcross for all that he does on behalf not just of our entire state, but specifically District 1 and the city of Camden. We know that he works hard night and day to bring the vision of New Camden, the New Camden, to all of us. And so much so that tomorrow we will be visited by the U.S. Secretary of Housing and Urban Development to announce a major, major project. And I want to thank the congressman for advocating that delivery as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheila. Lieutenant Governor Sheila Oliver and Terry Tucker, always a pleasure to have you with us as well. You made a lot of really important points. In the interest of time, I won't underscore all of them, but this notion, we mentioned this inside, the discussion around body-worn cameras has migrated to a much better place for all parties, and that's another great reality that we celebrate today. His leadership on this and in so many other things has been extraordinary. Please help me welcome our great Attorney General, Gurbir Grewal. Gurbir.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Governor. It's an honor to join all the elected leaders, the law enforcement professionals, community stakeholders who are here this morning. It's really a privilege because today, as everyone has said, is a big day. New Jersey is now one of a handful of states that will have body-worn cameras on each of our uniformed patrol officers. And we're proud to announce that the state will be funding every law enforcement agency, that applied to the office for grant money to buy body-worn cameras. As the governor said, that's 487 agencies across New Jersey. And those funds are going towards outfitting our officers with approximately 28,000 body-worn cameras. All told, it's a $57 million investment in public safety, in smart policy, and in building community trust. Although that's a substantial cost, the impact will be substantial as well. Body-worn cameras provide a number of benefits, both to community and to law enforcement. Most obviously, cameras generate video evidence of police conduct and interactions with residents. This footage, as we've seen time and time again, is a tremendous tool for accountability. And not only does the public want the accountability of videotape, so too does law enforcement. The tens of thousands of officers across New Jersey quietly doing their jobs, pledging themselves every day to protect perfect strangers. They want this incontrovertible evidence that shows their conduct in any given situation. And as we saw just a moment ago, capturing events on video also allows for extensive training and learning opportunities. Just as an elite athlete improves by watching game tape, police supervisors will now review video with their officers to see what's working and to see what also can be improved. But perhaps the most important benefit of body-worn cameras is that people, all people, behave better when they know that they are on tape. That's just a common sense fact that we've seen. It's true for both the police and it's true for the citizens they interact with. That's why under our policy, at the beginning of every police interaction, officers will tell people, whenever it's safe and feasible to do so, that they are being recorded. One study that we've looked at showed a 59% drop in use of force incidents involving officers who wore cameras. That is that these cameras can cut in half the number of times force is used by law enforcement. And that's why body cameras are a smart policy. We are harnessing modern technology to improve outcomes in a structural way. Last week, I issued a directive describing which officers would use body cameras and when. I expanded upon the legislature's mandate that all uniformed patrol officers wear cameras to include a broader range of officers, like tactical teams and canine units. I instructed officers that they should deactivate cameras at the request of a crime victim, and I prohibited recording for any purpose that would interfere with speech, association, or religious activity protected by the First Amendment. Others have said it, but it bears saying once again that here in New Jersey, we are different. We are at the forefront of the national conversation on policing reform. We continue to be a leader because of the commitment to excellence that motivates our dedicated police officers across the state. Body-worn cameras are just one part of our comprehensive effort to constantly improve the profession. So to close, I want to thank all the law enforcement officers for your unconditional service. I want to thank the Camden County Police leadership and officers for showing the way on this and so many other issues. They have shown that through better training, through better technology, through better tactics, you can have better outcomes, Chief. And importantly, I want to thank the governor for his leadership and his support on this issue and others when it comes to policing, because body-worn cameras not only improve law enforcement safety, Governor, they improve public safety. And your support is what allows us to lead this national conversation on policing. So once again, thank you so much for the officers who show that we are on the right path here in New Jersey each and every day. Please stay safe, everyone. And while I was thanking Chief Rodriguez, I neglected to thank another leader here in the Camden community, and that's Prosecutor Jill Mayer, who's the Chief Law Enforcement Officer in this county, who makes sure that the directives that we promulgate, the rules that we promulgate, are followed by every law enforcement agency in this county. So Jill, thank you for your leadership and thank you for your partnership.
I want to give two things. I want to give Grabir the assist, Jill, because we're better late than never. We were going to get to you, I promise you. He deserves the credit. Vic, I also want to tell you this. I'm going to be happy to report back to the Audubon Society when I get in the car that bird life in Camden is alive and well. So whatever you're doing on the bird front, it's working, man. In addition to all the other good things you're doing as mayor. Good Lord. So impressive. So it takes a village. It takes an administration. It takes a county, a city, law enforcement, houses of worship. It also takes legislators. This does not happen unless a bill comes our way that I affirmatively sign. And the 5th District is well represented here today. Bill Spearman is with us, Bill Moen. Where'd you go, Bill? Right here. Bill and Bill. And speaking on their behalf, another outstanding leader, the senator from the 5th Legislative District, Nilsa Cruz Perez.
Good morning, muy buenos días. Thank you, Governor Murphy, Attorney General Grigol, my friend, Lieutenant Governor Sheila Oliver, Congressman Norcross, Mayor Kartafen, Police Chief Rodriguez. I see Commissioner Melinda Kane. I see my assembly members are here and all the community members that are here. At times where we hear so much going on in the nation, Colonel Callahan, thank you. At time where we hear so much about difficulties that police departments and minority communities are facing, I'm proud to say that I'm from New Jersey because we are ahead of the game. The Camden County Metro Police Department has demonstrated that proper training and the de-escalation practices work. Community policing work. I was so impressed back there when I saw how they were using the camera, how they were dealing with the individual that needed the help. That individual, because of the camera, they were able to see afterwards if they needed to do something different or something better. So they're always improving what they're doing. That individual wasn't taken into custody, was taken into the proper place that he needed to be. He was a mental health patient and he was taken to the hospital. And that's what we want to hear. I am so proud of the Camden Metro Police Department, and I'm honored to represent them in this, represent the city and the county, and represent a police department that has been shined with national news because what we're doing in here. What we're doing in here works. They go out in the community, they play with the children, they knock on doors and meet their neighbors. They know who the people are in their neighborhood, and that is commendable. Thank you, Chief, for everything you're doing on our Camden County Metro Police Department. This is a great day for New Jersey. God bless all of you.
Well done. Well done. Amen to all of that, Nilsa, including your tip of the cap to the extraordinary members of law enforcement led by the Chief, Gabe Rodriguez, and of course by Sheriff Wilson on the sheriff's side. So with that, it is an appropriate way to end our deliberations and gathering today. I mentioned it takes a village, and on that list and high on the list are faith leaders. And we have several with us today, but please help me welcome the senior pastor from Little Rock Baptist Church, Pastor Stephen Mack. Pastor.
Today we had the wonderful opportunity with political leaders, citizens, community leaders, and law enforcement officers to further the discussion of social equity across the state of New Jersey. While many others have sometimes denied the existence of the need for this conversation, I'm grateful for Governor Murphy's vision to bring this as a conversation across the entire state. I'm also grateful for him having the insight to recognize leaders who are already doing it. I stand along with the other community leaders here in proud admiration of our Chief Rodriguez, and I look forward to working with him to further this narrative and to bring this across the entire state. I thank you, Governor Murphy, for your wisdom, and I thank you, Chief, for setting the example and for allowing Camden to be on the front end of this conversation. God bless you all.
Thank you, Pastor. Thank you, man. Pastor, thank you, and to each of the other representatives from our faith communities here today, we thank you. I think they say this in show business. That's all she wrote. Thank you, everybody. Have a great week. God bless you all.